Hello.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
How's it going?
Pretty well. How are you?
Good. I'm fine. Enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying, looking forward to things staying pretty calm as they are.
Yeah. It feels
if we
like
luck out.
maybe a new chapter is upon us.
Oh, it feels a lot different. I went through some old, walk down memory lane notes.
How'd that go?
It's Today it was great. That's funny you ask. As you know, yesterday it was a little rough, but today it was fine. And I came upon a thought that I wrote down so I would remember, and I wanted to share it with you. I'm not sure I've ever told you about this before.
Go on.
And every time I think about it, I have to laugh. When I was 4 or 5 years old, my parents, my father's family, would put together a party. So if I was 5, they were probably, they must have been in their 30s, late 30s.
Okay.
And they would have a party called a Come As You Are party. And they'd send out invitations. It was all my father's relatives. They were like all the cousins, my aunts and uncles. They were friendly, which is amazing.
Yeah, really.
And the Come As You Are party would, I guess my father and his brother, and I don't know if a brother-in-law, but certainly 2 or 3 of them would sneak over to the relative's house, unknown. I never told you. I could tell you by your face.
I have
never
no
heard
idea
this.
what you're talking about or what this party is. I mean, it sounds like a key party, but your relatives, so
No.
it wasn't.
No. And they would take a picture of somebody, like they would sneak a camera and take a picture through the window.
What?
So I saw a picture of my Uncle Irv shaving
What?
in pajamas with the towel across his shoulder. And I remember this. I mean, I was like 5 years old because we lived in that house on Princeton Avenue. We moved before I was 6. And he was shaving, shaving cream and the old razor.
Was he aware a photo was being taken of him?
No, that was the whole thing. And then there was a picture of my aunt at the kitchen sink doing dishes.
What?
And I'm trying to think, I had 3 of them in mind. I'm trying to think what the other one would have been. Irv, who was my aunt's husband, and somebody else with her hair in curlers and cream on her face at night. This was not staged. This was...
You got to back up for me. So someone would send an invitation out and say, we're having a Come As You Are party?
No.
There's nothing to do
They
with
would
that.
take the photos and then they print them out and put them in the envelope with the invitation, and you had to show up at the party dressed that way. Let that sink in.
Just the person. Okay, so Irv, for instance, was shaving. He'd receive an invitation in the mail to this party, and in the invitation would be a photograph of him shaving that he's seeing for the first time.
Yeah.
And then his instructions are to come to this party dressed in that way.
Yeah.
Did everyone else
We don't know.
who was invited to the party also get those photographs? It was like a guest
That
of
was
honor.
more than 60 years ago. It's good I remember this at all. I want to ask my brother if he remembers this.
And so someone would go ahead of, okay, hold on. This is so analog. Let's just back up for a second. Someone would have to go and maybe climb a tree or a trellis or something.
I'm wondering if the spouse knew about it. I'm going to call Mark. I'm going to call my cousin Mark. I'm going to call my cousin Mark and ask him. He knows pretty much everything.
Because it sounds like...
well, he doesn't know everything. I know things he doesn't know, but he
knows
This
sounds crazy.
And weird, right? Because who would want you to take a picture of them in their house?
And family, too. It's not like your friends did it to you.
It sounds kind of like now we can zoom into someone's living room and...
No, it's not the same thing.
I
Because
wonder
you
if
have
that's
to...
where I got the idea that people could see me through the TV when I was 4 years old.
Do they know about that?
No one knows about it. Well, you know about that.
Check this shit out.
Okay.
Doesn't it seem like everybody and the mother has a podcast? Oh, so I started a podcast with my mom. We wanted a theme song so you could sing along. The show it started.
what I'm talking
When
about.
I was a little girl back, hundreds of years ago, lived in Philadelphia in a row house, and in the summer it was really hot, and my parents had an air conditioner in their bedroom window. How does that sound to people? Do people still do this now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had it. That was the only room in the house that had an air conditioner. So I would take my naps in there. I was 3, 4 years old, maybe 5. And one day my mother came in after my nap. I had gotten up and I was hiding behind the bed. I guess that wasn't difficult. I was only a little kid. I was hiding behind the bed, getting dressed after my nap. And she said, "Sharon, what are you doing?" I think people say that to me a lot. "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm getting dressed. I'm finished my nap." And she said, "But why are you like hiding behind the bed?" I said, "Because the TV's on and I don't want the TV people to see me undressed." And she laughed. She said, "They can't see you." And she explained to me about transmission, and it was transmitted into my house through the airwaves. Yeah, right. But they couldn't see me. And I continued to do what I was doing. And she said, "Did you hear what I said?" I said, "Yes, but they obviously can see me. If I can see them, they can see me." Fast forward 40 years later, don't take your phone into the bathroom. Cover the camera on your computer. I didn't know I knew, but I was sure that they could see me.
Video game systems. There's certain like Xbox. If someone's playing a sports game while wearing a jersey, they'll get served ads for that team based on what they're wearing in their living room. So you were very much tuned into like science fiction talked about that too, right? So like you were.
But I was too young to read science fiction. I just could feel the connection. Now that you say that, we talk often over the recent years about typing in a search for something on my computer, and I get an ad for it an hour later.
Sure,
that
saying it
was
out loud.
disconcerting. What happens now is we'll have a conversation, like Joe and I'll have a conversation in the living room.
They know.
And I open the computer. They know.
Yeah.
And I open the computer, and it's like, "Why don't you check out this restaurant?" It's like, okay, we haven't talked about this restaurant in 10 years or read anything. Yes.
Yes. It's what you think it is.
So I just think after being at home for a year, the 4 of us in a pod, and the way time has changed. And Washington Post has a piece, 7 days, just a 7-day newsletter, and then they leave you alone, I think, on I forget the title, something about adjusting to the time or understanding, something about, just look up Time, 7-day newsletter, and it tells you why you feel things are taking forever, but then the whole week goes fast and you don't remember what happened what day, and why we feel differently about time. And they, of course, interview professional psychologists and people who explain this. And it's fascinating. And it's kind of, to me, like all the different time zones are kind of like circling around. I mean, not literally, but
They talk about the transition to autocracy.
no, I didn't get, well, I only read the first paragraph.
Oh, well, that seems super responsible to share with our audience as a site. So like there is this phenomenon when democracies transition into autocracies that the citizens lose sense of themselves and time. So this is not the first time that like a society has been like, I don't know what day it is or why things feel so weird, is it
because it butts up against your very, very strongly owned sense of reality?
I think that's part of it, and also there's like it's normalcy bias, right? So we expect summer to feel a certain way, and a work week to last a certain amount of time, and a sleep to feel a certain way when you wake up, and all of those things are different. So it's butting up against our perceptions of realities, but the combination of a pandemic and a transition from a democracy to an autocracy is a double whammy on time. There is an experience of citizens going through the transition of a democracy into an autocracy where time starts to slip. We're not like in the same, like I am like okay with the fact that I've slipped out of time, and that I have a sort of equal footing in this expectation of slipping back into time and being like, whoa, that was weird. And as I do, being like, oh, there was never time, and this is just what it is. It's every person for themselves. And if you want to spend your day this way, as long as you're being a good person and, keep a roof over your head and food coming in, like, you'll be like, who cares? Think of all the people who are going to get called back into work after the pandemic.
They'll be like Mad Magazine, like Alfred E. Newman, like, who, what, me?
Or like,
you want me to do what?
Well, there's going to be a massive portion of people who are like, oh, that's
Yeah,
adorable.
I don't think so.
Not just I don't think so. I don't live there anymore.
Oh, of course.
And employers are going to have to scramble to figure out how the work week, how is it 40 hours? Is it all the things that, I don't want to go down a capitalism rabbit hole, but
Good.
there are things about the work week, work from home, pandemic, transitioning back out of a pandemic, experiencing an autocracy attempt all at the same time that make it like all bets are off. So I'm equally, like, I'm comfortable in the fact that I know I've slipped out of time. I know.
What does slip out of time mean, though? It
means it slipped off the track that was like qualifying what time is supposed to feel like. Go to work and do a good job for a week, and then at the end of it, you can have a weekend. And those things are not how most people live their lives anymore.
Do we slip out of time because that schedule has changed? No, it's deeper than that. It's much more esoteric than that.
I agree. It's like existential or metaphysical, but it's been fast-tracked into the discourse because of pandemic and because of what's happening otherwise, politically.
Yes, and it's also knowing that we don't know what will happen next, how this will end, if it will relieve, and everything's too broad and too wide open. It's hard to be grounded, which is why it's important to be mindful, to be aware. I changed my schedule this week. I turned it upside down. So instead of walking in the late afternoon, which may or may not happen,
You walk backwards in the morning?
I always walk backwards when I walk for part of the time. It's very good for the muscles, the calf muscles and the iliopsoas, and sideways. Walk to the left sideways and to the right sideways, but only for a few minutes. It's not easy. So now I'm walking, but the reason I planned to walk early morning was because it got so hot here that I couldn't walk after 11 a.m. So this morning I went out early, got up, got dressed, went out early, and it was cold. Go figure. Anyway, so this time thing, when do you think we'll forget about this portion of it and it'll go back to?
No.
You think this is it, huh?
Yeah, I think we're.
don't actually
That's
care.
my point, right? So my point.
I don't care at all.
My point is that supposed track of what a week feels like and what a year is supposed to be and what progress in a career is and how old a kid developing is. All these different things that I can't say took for granted because everybody has their own experience with it. But the sort of gambit that time means something, I think is up. Like the jig is up on that, and I believe that it's going to be painful at first and then very interesting in the middle, and then some stuff will try to snap back. There's going to be a lot of institutions who are like, this is how it is. If you want to keep playing this game as an employer, as a customer, as whatever, this is what it is. And there's be as many companies and people and experiences that are like, why would we get together for this?
Well, for anything, this is the interesting thing, and I have two comments. One is like, I will look forward to hearing from younger people and children on how they transition into the next phase of our reality, because I can't imagine what they're going through. And the other is, at the age that I am, there's all kinds of challenges. I mean, I think about things that happened and realize it was 20 years ago. It's like,
Me too.
how
Me
how
too.
was that 20 years ago?
I have things I was thinking about this weekend that happened half my life ago that are like just part of my consciousness. It's going to be interesting. It is interesting. It's going to be obnoxious. It is obnoxious. And I think it opens up just a lot of possibility. I'm interested / terrified to see what happens in 25 years when the people who the first year of their lives were spent not talking or touching other babies or going outside. You think they're going to be normal and adjusted and able to work as a team?
Yeah, the word isn't normal. The word is, will their how will their development vary from
Yeah.
those that came before? But every generation has that.
Well, will the norm, the developmental expectation, be based on not socializing for the first year of your life?
Will they get married? Will they have children? Will they go to college? Everything is thrown up against the wall.
I think those are the original lyrics to Que Sera. Sera.
Oh, jeez. And the other thing was, I wanted to thank you for lunch.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was leftover dinner last night. Oh my goodness! And you discovered lemongrass, fresh lemongrass,
I did.
and it was in the basmati. Wait, was it basmati rice?
It was. I didn't discover it.
No, you discovered it for us. I mean,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our household.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I never cooked with it before. I got it out of curiosity. No, I made a coconut ginger lemongrass basmati. And then on the grill,
We should have had show and tell.
I know. Well, I'll put some pictures up
Next
on our.
time we could eat lunch in front of them.
Yeah, who wouldn't want that? And I did a barbecue, like a grill, but all plant based. So I marinated this
Not
tofu.
just like a
and-
barbecue. You did a barbecue.
Well, I grilled. It technically
A
wasn't.
grill.
Yeah. I'm being,
Wait, there's a difference, but
It's super annoying.
Barbecue
some
is like
people
southern
like a
barbecue
style
with the-
barbecue.
cooker, the big cooker, and the sauces.
Yeah, but it was like tofu and carrots, and I did broccoli.
Tofu was
and
great.
It was great. Some naan. I'll post some pictures. You guys can
I love
check
that.
it out.
And make that again, like right away. That was really good.
I will. Yeah, I gotta record some of these recipes in a real way. I've got them all written, but I'm thinking about like remaking the top 10 or top 20 and seeing what's what.
Okay, that's up to you. But thank you for putting together Passover.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, all these things I used to do. I can't, like just go for a walk. You're
Yeah, I
doing all
made
this
Passover dinner like legitimately by myself and organized
Oh.
and organized a last minute virtual Seder and ran that Seder and I enjoyed doing it, but
We all helped.
that's true. But I was in Passover. Well, I guess for dating this show,
I did the blessing over the wine.
you did.
We drank the wine, and we had the beautiful blue wine cup for Elijah.
Didn't
And
show.
I didn't. Well, it said to there was some conversation about, will Elijah show up? And you said, I hope so. He's bringing dessert.
Aw, that's cute. And I went for a run that day for the first time in a long time, and so I between the run and the cooking and the setup and but I went to sleep and was so tired. I slept until like 10 o'clock the next day. It was like absolutely exhausting, but worth it. I'm happy to have done it, but reflecting, I realized how much work it was.
Sometimes I say to you, maybe it's too much. You say, no, I'm going to do this and I'll have 45 minutes. And then I'll
It's
do
true.
this and I have 20 minutes. And
It's true.
And you're really efficient.
Thank you. I'm gonna take this jacket off.
Oh, okay. Do you have that shirt in a smaller size for me?
I don't. It was I'm wearing a shirt from the market Erewhon.
Oh, we're going back to Santa Monica next week.
Are you?
Yes. I bet they're open.
Oh, sure.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to order food.
Oh yeah, you can probably definitely go there and walk around and pick out your groceries.
No, have it delivered.
Talk
oh
to
my
friends.
goodness.
That'll be nice. You haven't been back to Santa Monica in a while. 6 months.
Try to figure out what year it was. You're on months. 2020.
What? Okay.
2020. Yeah, a long time.
Good. That'll be good to get back.
Yeah, it'll be good to get back.
I trained the cat to sit. I did that in the pandemic. I trained
We should.
the cat
Zephyr, ¿dónde está
To
mi
s-
gato? Where's it?
to sit, like straight up.
We should have brought Zephyr.
There's like this metal comb he's into. I'll post some video of this too. And I've trained him to the point where
did you tell him about Aminal songs?
a little
Because
bit.
he stars in the recent one.
He stars in a lot of them. He's kind of like my cat muse. I've written like dozens of these tunes.
He tried to climb up my leg one day. I knew that was good because he trusted me, but I didn't want him
Yeah, I know he's got
weasels
those
rip my
talons.
flesh.
Nice. A little Zappa reference. That's a Zappa reference.
Of course. I went through this phase recently where I wanted a cat. And I did remember that one of the advantages for me of not having a cat now is that I don't have to worry about it if things go bonkers and I have to pack and leave real quickly like we sometimes do. But I can foresee having a cat. But
We had great cats.
But I don't really think I'm going to. I think I'm going to have 2 cats.
Oh, nice. We had a lot of cats at the house growing up, and
Lots of cats.
people would come over and they'd see cats. They're indoor, outdoor cats. They all kind of did their own thing. And if someone was over for a long enough amount of time, they'd always like do this like,
Is that the same cat?
how many? Is that like the Matrix? Did it look like the same cat, or
Same
was
cat?
it the same cat? And they'd be like, "How many cats do you have?" And your answer was always,
How many have you seen?
which
That's what I
love.
would admit to. And then my friend Debbie, Joanna's mother, called one day and she said, "So we're moving to a different house, and it's larger, and I have a question for you." And I said, "Okay, what?" She said, "You have like 5 or 6 cats." I said, "Yeah," because she knew, inner circle. And
Oh,
she
6 was the
said,
answer,
"Well,
yeah.
we have, I think it was definitely 2, maybe 3." She said, "And we'd really like to get more cats. And the house is roomy enough, but my question is, they don't ever stay like in the same room at the same time, do they?" And I said, "No." So they moved to a very, very nice house. We went to see it. And she sure did get a bunch of cats. And she called me and she said, "So generally, they're all on the 2 love seats in the living room every day at the same time
Aw,
together."
so many cats. I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
she was like, "You told me that they wouldn't do this."
Well, they are cats. They're pretty unpredictable.
Oh, it was cute.
So this is like a time F and also like a cat thing. So I always had a camera. I've always sort of held a video camera or recorded audio. I have archives of just, many, many years going back to the late 80s. And I got them all digitized and I go through them occasionally for like art projects or various use. And sometimes it's like very productive trove of awesome just stuff. And sometimes it's like talking about memories from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I have video of certain memories of mine, right? So I'll stumble upon, I don't know what's all in there. It's a
You
lot
mean
of
you
stuff.
have a video of something happening
Right. And it's also,
that's now become a memory.
right. But then,
But you could check it.
and then I'll check it and I'll see, not on purpose. It sneaks up on me from like around the corner and cold cocks me. And I'll be watching something and I'll be like, "Oh my God, that's not at all my memory."
Well,
And here is the proof of it. And I'm watching it, I can't say objectively, I'm me now watching it, but it's this bizarre sort of like, this is your life, defending your life sort of
I was thinking
videotape
that when you said it.
thing. And I have a substantial amount of footage of our cats because I would like, young auteur, what are you going to videotape? The things around you. So it's like you and my brother and my dad and cats. And so I made a
And
song.
Johnny.
And the neighbor Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
Who's like never wearing a shirt ever, 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 ever. Picture Johnny and tell me what color shirt he's wearing. You
No
can't.
shirt.
There's no shirt.
Light blue pants,
Definitely.
sneakers,
Yep.
or no shoes.
Yeah. And so I had found this tape of my cats from the 90s. And then I took that footage and I wrote a song around it called "I Just Found a Tape," parentheses, of my cats from the 90s. Or maybe it's cats from the 90s, parentheses, "I just found a tape." I'm not sure yet. And I made it. You want to hear it and see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you kidding? Cats from the 90s? Definitely.
Okay, here it is. This is the debut of "I Just Found a Tape."
I just found a tape of my cats from the 90s. At least one was part-time. The TVs were not widescreen. It was a simpler time. I just found a tape of my cats from the 90s. Hey, there's a landline. Look, there goes Whiskers. A trapper us down to shoot some pool. My dad on a jet ski, this lady smoking at Disney. The bedspreads were not pretty, I wish I was there now.
So, the Trapper Keeper you still have. It's
I do.
probably over there on your desk.
It's not right here, but I know where it is.
You
Yeah.
have it.
Uh-huh.
I see it
Yeah.
all the time. And the bedspread you love.
Oh, they're super cool, but they're not pretty.
I like them. They were white with different colors.
They were like literally the same sheets that Zach Morris had in Saved by the Bell. They went to his house once, and it was the episode where
They knew what I bought you and they copied it? Well, I
We-
didn't realize that.
we did have them first, and that's no lie.
I didn't know that.
It was the episode we went to Zach's house, and he was trying to get in touch with his dad because his dad was a workaholic, and so they both had these big cell phones. And he called his dad, and his dad's like, "Hold on 1 second, champ, I gotta take a call." And he takes the call, and Zach's like, "It's me, Dad. This is the only way I can get through to you." And his dad's like crestfallen. "Oh, son, I didn't realize I wasn't spending enough time with you." And then we never saw
Him again.
his dad again on the show ever. Ever.
Perfect. Whoever wrote that really got a zinger
They
in
really
his
got
dad.
they really got it in on his own dad, right?
And then you had the cat on the pool table.
Yes.
That knocked my socks off. That was the living room. Our living room was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was nice.
Had all
Real
this
nice.
crown molding.
1
and-
inch thick slate, banker's gray, pool
and
table. really
chair
nice.
molding and purple carpet and
Yeah, I think so.
and a pool table in the middle.
Got pretty good at pool.
I didn't.
That's a good skill. That's a good one to know. Oh, you know cousin Justin? I mean, I know you know cousin Justin. He's your nephew.
I gonna say to that, yes.
He saw that video. I sent it to him before I released it.
And
And he loved it, but he commented on the pool table, and I meant to share this with you, and I love that I forgot. He said that he got good at pool learning from you, specifically, Justin. Learning to play billiards is a really important skill.
for a man.
Oh,
Well, back in the day.
we're gonna need a theme song.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a jingle or something for like.
You know, I said that on purpose.
Go
ahead.
And he said that he learned to play pool on your sort of recommendation, and that
I told him.
and that it served him
How
his
many
whole
years
life.
ago was this?
30?
Oh my goodness. I said to him, there's 3 things that
Uh-oh.
you should learn as a young man so that you would get along. It would open doors for you. One was to play pool, one was to smoke cigars, and I don't remember what the other one was. Where did this come from?
Were you just making that up? And what image of a pool playing, cigar smoking, mystery third trick thing person were you thinking of?
Because when
Like W.C.
guys go
Fields?
out, what do? They go to movies that their wives or girlfriends aren't interested in. They talk and hang out. They watch ball games, which we didn't do in my house growing up. My father was. I mean, I did saw none of that. But very often, people are interested in sports. And back in the day when smoking was popular, you know, a good Havana cigar. And I guess, I don't know, a glass of scotch. I wasn't going to teach him, tell him
Nice.
he needed how to. Maybe
Yeah.
I did say, you
It
know
might have
how to
been
pick
drink.
scotch. I don't remember.
Probably not.
I mean,
I
he
don't
wasn't
think
a
so.
child, but he was.
He was a boy.
I don't know where that memory came from, but I'm sure that it was just.
And he apparently, and his wife is like, yes,
Is
he's
that
very
weird?
good at billiards. And he's like, I owe it all to Sharon.
Wow. Wait, I'm going to put that in my list
Of what?
of people that like me and think I was helpful. Do you know when I was a little girl, I said, how come all the people on the radio are men? And someone told me, or I might have read about it. This was might have still been the 50s. That's how old I am. And they said that women could not be radio broadcasters because their voices were too high and shrill and annoying, and men did not want to hear that. And I was like, I just thought about it, but I couldn't find any place to put that thought. I have a comment and I can't even say it.
Is there anything else that you'd like to not say on our radio show today?
It's it's a hot topic today. It has to do with women's rights being ignored and people's comments. Well, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I cleaned it up. I think you know what I mean, but
Yeah, it's pretty messed up out there.
it's.
But Justin, you made a good positive impact on him, and
I'm amazed.
he can go hustle people in the pool hall now.
Oh, you just gave it away.
What?
No, he can't because they know.
I don't know who you think is listening to this show, but yeah, I guess he can't walk into a pool place and start playing without them saying, "Wait a minute, ain't she that Justin from that podcast I listen to
Exactly.
religiously?" Like, what reality is that?
Well, this has been great fun. What's for dinner?
I haven't thought about it.
Well, don't wait too long.
What once started off as an honor, and no, it's good. I've become.
You love it.
I do love it. I do love it. I don't know that I'm going to go all out tonight, but
And last night we ate on the patio. It was really late. We started like at 8 o'clock.
7:30. Yeah, really late. It's a desert.
7:30.
So after like 6:15, it's like you got to put your like readers on and your little like sleeping hat. It's great.
Well, I just don't walk in the dark now because of the bats. So, somebody said, "Why don't you walk at night anymore? Are you afraid of the coyotes?" I said, "No, I heard bats one night. And I couldn't run home fast enough."
And last night when I said, "Do you hear those bats?" What did you say to me?
I don't know.
Those are sprinklers. And I said, "Oh shit, they're right. Those are sprinklers." So I don't think there's bats here. I think those are sprinklers. Did you see them?
I don't know.
They were sprinklers.
There were a lot of them, and they were squeaking really loud and noisily. And I was afraid.
And
I
then
went
did they-
like this. I covered my hair and I ran. I
And
know
then
what
did
to do.
Did it all stop at the same time and things were wetter outside?
I ran away. I ran
More
away.
wet.
I took my flashlight and I went like that.
Oh man.
You know, I had my headlamp on and also had my flashlight on my hand. I don't walk in the dark anymore.
No, I don't blame you. You're ready to spelunk at any time.
All right, so let me know what time to show up for dinner.
All right, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you so much for joining
love
us.
you.
We'll see you guys soon. Do not forget to call your mother.
Doesn't it seem like everybody and their mother has a podcast? Oh, oh, so I started a podcast with my mom. We wanted a theme song so you could sing along. The show it ends now.
I wanted a cat, wanted a cat, wanted a cat. I wanted a cat, wanted a cat, wanted a cat.